impaired and you want me to throw myself down a mountain at 100 kilometers an hour. So I think what we're doing here, putting it on television and letting everyone see it and see, how incredible some of the athletes can be, really helps. And hopefully there's somebody out there watching and listening, and they get the idea that, hey, they can do this one day. And especially in those classes we talked about earlier, that there's opportunities in women's visually impaired, in women's sitting, and even the men's visually impaired. There's opportunities everywhere if you put the time in.
Having it on screen now, that's the key, isn't it? Getting this out to the world. You guys knew all about it, and then maybe people's children then start to learn about it, or a coach comes across somebody who has an impairment. This is much easier, isn't it? This is a broad spectrum of saying to people, look what we do. Forget our impairments. You've seen swimming on TV, you've seen every other sport on TV. This is us. This is what we do. Why not come and join the fun?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think, I think of yesterday, we obviously saw some incredible performances, but at the same time, I went down, broke my wrist. A couple of guys hurt themselves, not quite as much, but there were some spectacular crashes. And as much as that is not what we're selling the sport for, the fact that I can sit here and I don't have to put that in an article to say, look, I hurt my wrist and I can't start the Super Combine. I can just show someone the video of this is the broadcast footage of what happened, and as painful as it is for me, it's somewhat exciting, and at least it tells a story, doesn't it?
Yeah, you mentioned earlier about a former Australian VI skier, and a limited amount of people will know that story because it doesn't exist on tape. It might exist on a few World or Paralympics if we got it recorded. Now, the World Cup, the World Champs, we're on to the Paralympics, back into the World Cup final. It's all down there. You now, as you rightly said, and all of these guys here can turn around in 10, 15, 20, 40 years' time and go, what do you mean you've not heard of me? Look at this. And not just for that, but equally to be able to say to people, look at the developments, the strides we're making for people who have an impairment. You don't stay at home. You don't get pigeonholed into a certain section. You want to ski, go and ski. You want to swim, go and swim. You want to go and lift power weights, go and lift weights. It's wide open now.
Yeah, exactly. And the things that we've been able to do with technology enabling us to broadcast Paralympic sport across the board, not just alpine, as you say, in swimming, in all kinds of sports. And I'm really, blown away by the fact we've been able to do it in an alpine environment, because obviously that comes with its own challenges. So that's a really good development for the sport. And as you said, it's great to be able to say, come and do Paralympic skiing. Well, what's that? Well, this is what it is,
Behind the scenes, what people don't see is that the team of cameramen who are buried up to their waist in snow, the snow that's pushed to the side is normally pushed into their position. They're out there day in, day out from sort of 7:30 in the morning until sort of 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. People behind the scenes, I mean, we've had animals chewing cables at 2 or 3 of the events in the last year or so, and you never give that a thought from outside of the broadcast. And for me, it's been great to kind of get to know you guys, as I have done para swimmers over time, as I have done para powerlifters over time. So for me, it's great to have been involved in the last couple of years. Here we are, plenty of people behind the scenes who help to run competitions. And this is another smiley youngster. Bib number 49 belongs to one Thomas Walsh, who is a real good character, an interesting young man, to say the least. He celebrated his birthday out on the tour. That must be tough, being away from your family and friends on the important dates, but I'm sure when he gets back from his long journeys and he's got his World Cup victories from Zagreb to talk about and experiences here at the World Championships, you don't kind of mind too much. Tommy Walsh heading down, 0.45 up at the early stage. Young man from Vale. Can he wrestle the lead away from the current leader, Robin Kush? 147.96. Yes, it's going to be 0.57 the difference for Thomas Wells. He punches the air. Not every athlete is here to win a medal, is it? There's different benchmarks for each person.
Certainly, and I think we're starting to really get into the medal contenders here. We've got these last 4 or 5 guys, and a few of them are speed skiers, so Thomas has given himself the best chance there. And see another Thomas Phil, a veteran of the sport, Swiss guy who won a silver medal in the slalom the other day, so if he can bring out that kind of slalom form, he should be right in contention here today.
Men's standing. It took a twist this morning when we thought that Theo Gemur had been disqualified. He was flagged down and told to stop, but it was an error, and we allowed Theo to run again.
Thomas is
mentally that would have been tough, but up he went and came up with a winning performance. Thomas Phil, this is from Switzerland, chasing down on Thomas Walsh's 1:47.39, the Battle of the Toms.
He's had a super strong top section. I think he's going to take the lead there. Yeah, 1.64 seconds in front, building on his lead of about half a second before the run. So great to see Thomas Phil put himself in a great position heading into the last couple of athletes.
Yeah, Marcus Sanka got a bronze this morning and won silver yesterday. He isn't going to run here in the second part of the Super Combined, so his World Championships is done due to injury. Arthur Barchet, you saw the video at the beginning of the program where he said it's magic. He's certainly enjoying himself. He's another one of those that kind of just has that smile 24 hours a day, isn't he?
He does. Another youngster that's just really skiing at an incredible level, especially in slalom. So while I was very impressed to see Thomas throw down the run he did, I'm expecting something special from Arthur here, and Teo's going to have his work cut out just to try and stay on the podium, I'd say.
3.18, that's already quite special. He does have a little mistake in his locker, does Barchet. Not too often that we've seen it at World Champ level, but certainly in Pyeongchang he would let himself go a little, but here he's chasing down 1:45, and this is another magic slalom run. Oh, Arthur Barchet, 5 seconds has been wiped away. He's very, very happy. Will he be wearing a gold medal in the next 20 minutes or so? Well, the man that can stop him goes next, Theo Rimeux. See visually his impairment down the right side of his body. Ski pole in just the left hand. Something, if you're born with your impairment and you learn to ski with one ski pole or one leg, it just becomes more natural as you go along, doesn't it?
It does indeed, and I think, oh, Teo's straddled and gone down.
Well, it happens to the best. Theo Rimeux chasing down. He was already just 0.29 ahead, but Rimeux this time is out. Thought he'd gone this morning. Bizarre circumstance, and as Mitch points out, just here, just turns in too quickly.
Yeah, it was a strong top section from Teo. I was interested to see how he was going to hold up for the medals there, because it would have been a tough fight for second and third. Unfortunately, you see Robin Kusch there. He'll be a bit upset. I think he's going to end up in fourth. We'll have Arthur in the lead ahead of Thomas Phil, and then Thomas Walsh, the two Thomases in second and third.
Yep. And, well, that's great news for Arthur Barchet. Not good news for either Robin Kusch and now for Theo Rimeux. So a rather poor couple of minutes for Switzerland. And, well, they have got Thomas Phil should be staying in silver, you would imagine, from here on in. Tommy Walsh, well, we mentioned him missing his birthday at home. Is he going to take a medal back as a present? What a gift that would be. Or is there a big performance from some of the guys later on in the list? We will come back to the men's standing in a few moments. In fact, Stephen is down at the finish line. Let's go over to him and see who he's with.
Congratulations, Arthur Barchet. You have done it again, 3-time world champion. How do you feel?
It's again magic. I say every day the same word, but yeah, it's each day a magic day. So yeah, I'm very happy to do this gold medal here in Sella Nevea. My first one gold medal in Sella Nevea. So yeah, I'm really happy.
And how special is it to have your family just next to you as you do it?
Yes, it's a great honor to me for me to have them here with me and to share that with them, because yeah, I love them. Maman, venez, viens, papa.
They're all here. They are absolutely loving it. They're giving some praise to the runner, to the fellow who skied out, Theo Rimeux, as well. A huge congratulations to Arthur Barchet. Alan, it goes back to you.
Steve Stephen was battling away there trying to get his interview. We mentioned a couple of moments ago, he's one of those 24-hour smilers, is Arthur Bauchet, and you kind of forget, he's just 18. There's loads more left in him.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible this early in his career. He's been unbelievably successful the last 2 World Championships and the Paralympics in between, so the sky's the limit for Bauchet.
So we're back underway then. Teo Kimur out of the competition. Niko Prijancic has come up with some good World Cup performances in the last year or so, but is this an area that he can push for a time that will get him a medal? 7 seconds back on Teo Kimur, but he was quick, so too was Arthur Bauchet. That first split time by Kimur will always sit there, but if you don't get past the first split, it means very, very little. We've had a few of those today.
Really strong slalom skiing from Nico here. He's not traditionally been a slalom skier, but I think he's taken some great strides in his technical skiing the last few years. He's into 8th, moved up a couple spots.
9 seconds or so behind the current leader, the man that we expect to take the title now. Again, an example of single leg skiers here within the men's standing category. For those looking from the outside, you have skiers with 2 legs, skiers with 2 arms, skiers with 1 leg, skiers with 1 arm. We have to try and explain the fact at times at the bottom, based on everyone's classification, you know, in sports like swimming where it's a little bit more defined, you know, you are classified S1 to S13, you only swim against certain categories. He is very, very different. Braden Luscombe going out, and he's so close to the finish there, Mitch.
Yeah, he just came into that hairpin where that rhythm change is coming into the flat a little bit too straight, and it was tough. But here's Aaron Lindstrom, who's a really strong slalom skier, who's in 3rd place after the first run of our slalom in Kranjska the other day, and
yeah, he
really
picked off a World Cup podium place in Pattaya, I think it was, just before Christmas, at the back end of last year, if I remember rightly. And everybody was sort of like, oh, hello. But he hasn't quite managed to replicate that. He's another that, he does another, I was going to say, that just goes at the course, and that can be costly, though.
Yeah, I think he thinks he straddled there. I wasn't actually 100% sure, to be honest. It might have been a boot top. But, yeah, a strong skier who's, again, on the youthful side and possibly has some more experience to gain before he's able to be that constant force, but certainly capable of world-beating runs here and there at the moment.
Yeah, while we were talking about new youngsters being needed in the women's sitting, there's actually a raft of youngsters in all of the categories in the men's division at the moment. You look at Jesper Pedersen and Euro, and we'll come to those in a few moments. Arthur and Teo in this one, and you talk about Aaron there as well, and then obviously Savard, Bertagnoli in the men's division. So we're doing all right there, and it's very, very strong. Yeah,
we are indeed. And here's one of the old guard, Hiraku Misawa. He's actually been in the sport longer than me. Still going strong, so good to see Hiraku coming into the finish now.
This is his 7th World Championships, Misawa. That's an impressive number.
Yeah, he's certainly been around a long time and had a lot of success. You know, he's been a World Championship medalist and multiple World Cup medalist. Was a phenomenal slalom skier early in his career, and then sort of switched his focus to speed for a while, and can now be threatening in both from time to time. But again, one of those guys that now it's sort of a bit more hit and miss, but every now and then he really throws one together.
Conor Hogan hasn't gone for the USA, so bib number 49 is out. This is bib 50, also belongs to an American. We had 4 of those this morning in a row. This is Spencer Wood, another like Thomas Walsh, who's had a birthday whilst being away from home. His was the day before that he won 3rd place in the World Cup in Zagreb. So Spencer Wood had a good time at the World Cup, and here he is improving. We had a chat with both Spencer and Thomas together this morning. They were talking about the course and how important it is to listen to the coach's instructions, not just right at the start, but throughout the instructions that keep coming about the course and telling you where the changes are happening. The coaches and people behind the scenes, just as important.
Yeah, well, that's the magic of this sport, right? The course is changing every minute, and so having the trust and the faith in those words from your coaches and being able to sort of decipher that on the fly as things change is a really important part of the piece.
Oh, Takahashi drifting off to the left side of your screen. He's just behind those Swiss coaches there. And that is the end of his run. Kohei Takahashi. This is Davide Bendotti, the Italian single leg skier, out on the course now. Bib number 44. 24 years old, made his debut in Tarvisio at a major championships, and would have been good to have got that home championships to kind of help with the nerves, I suppose, no having to really leave your home surroundings too much, and spurred on by Giacomo Bertagnoli as part of the team as well, I'm sure, on that occasion. Bendotti hasn't gone on to the successes that Bertagnoli has, however, he is getting his way through a course that has already claimed a fair few victims, 4 I believe, not 5 actually. Crossing the line here, raises his arm to signify victory in lots of senses, i.e. the fact that he does make it to the bottom. 157.76. We mentioned earlier, some of these will have a very different outcome to what they want to get from their races here, won't they?
Yeah, everyone will go in with their own goals and their own sort of objectives, and that will vary from people and across the board. It will vary with the level of experience and amount of time that athletes have been in the sport. So this is Andrew Harrigy from the US now, is an LW1. The only other one of these is Adam Hall, currently competing, who's at home about to have a baby any minute now, he told me, between runs. So that's exciting for him, but Andrew's got some really, really good skills that are, I guess, akin to Adam's, and he's got a really good picture there to learn from of one of the most successful standing skiers in the last 10 years.
I asked a few questions about the whereabouts of our Paralympic champion, and when we were in Kranjskogorje, there was a lot of scratching of the heads going, I don't know why he's not here. Not on the injured list, he hasn't retired. But there you go, he's obviously away having a baby. Andrew gets across the line, the clock hasn't officially stopped, so we'll try and bring in the official time in a couple of moments. He was the last of the men's standing skiers to come down. We talked about young talent and people who often wear a smile. This young guy here, Jesper Pedersen, he's had a horrific medical issue this year. He had a problem with his heart. Of all the things when you're young, the things you don't think about is having a problem with your heart. We'll come to that in a second. Arthur Bauchet didn't have a problem with his. Look at the time difference between him and second place. You think Marie Bochet is good in the women's standing. Arthur Bauchet is doing just as good in the men's at the moment. He's taken the title of the Super Combined. He might not have won the Super G, but his Super G time was good enough to put him in the mix. Theo Rimeur going out certainly helps you, but I think his time was super, and it might have been difficult for anybody to get near anyway.